Welcome to Prescribing Lifestyle, the podcast that's all about empowering you to live your healthiest, happiest life. I'm your host, Dr. Avi Charlton, and each week we'll dive into the latest research, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you optimize your well-being. From nutrition and fitness to mental health and mindfulness, we'll explore every aspect of lifestyle medicine, giving you the tools you need to make informed decisions and take control of your health. Whether you're looking into preventing disease, managing chronic conditions, or simply elevate your quality of life, Prescribing Lifestyle is here to guide you on your journey to wellness. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on this transformative adventure towards a healthier, happier you. Let's dive in. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast. Today I have a very special guest for you. She is Connie Paglianiti. I hope I said it right. She was just teaching me how to say it in Italian. Connie is a very special guest. I only met her last week, but she's got a very amazing journey, and I'm very hoping to share with you what her story is like. She is a motivational speaker. She's an author. She's written a few books and co-authored a few books. I'll get her to tell us about it in a minute. And she's got an amazing story to tell. And she just told me that she was invited to talk to Dr. Phil today.
No.
Sorry.
I was speaking to somebody who worked for him.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay, sure. All right. So welcome to this Prescribing Lifestyle podcast, Connie.
Thank you so much, Dr. Avi. Lovely to meet you again. See you again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
So you had an amazing story.
A story that I wish I didn't have, but yes, unfortunately. I got myself into a bit of a pickle back in early 2011, 2012. I went into a business relationship with this person whom I thought was genuine. Unfortunately, he happened to be the biggest con man on earth. I found out much later to my dismay. So he left me with over $1 million worth of debts. I was running an event management company. My events were really successful. I had festivals in Lygon Street, Melbourne, and I worked with the City of Melbourne, the traders, did corporate events as well. So I think he just wanted to piggyback on my success and my reputation. Anyway, I trusted him. He ended up, like I said, being a con man, left me in debt of over $1 million. I paid as much as I possibly could, getting money left, right and centre from my credit cards, my mortgage. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough to pay them all. And I got myself into such a pickle that I started stealing money from a very dear client of mine on the financial side of things. And eventually I got caught in 2018. And in 2019, November 2019, I ended up going to jail for 2.5 years.
Oh, no.
And it was during the COVID year, so it was very lonely. It was one of those horror stories. I got bullied in jail because the women were jealous of my sentence, because for the amount of money that I stole, I got a very, very good sentence. Whereas they stole a lot less than me, but they got more than me. So there was some sort of jealousy there. Okay. And the officers, unfortunately, had this thing about white-collar crime that they thought we were self-entitled. So I copped it from both the women prisoners, about half a dozen of them, and the officers as well. They had a very much country mentality. This was in the low-security prison. So going into jail was a very, very shocking experience for me.
Tell us some of the stories of what they did. Were they very nasty?
It wasn't physical, but it was emotionally, it was psychological. They spread rumors. Like I went for this position to be a peer worker, which is helping other prisoners. And by the time I went there, for the interview, the woman that was interviewing me, she said, Connie, she said, I'm not giving you the job because the women don't like you. And I said, what do you mean the women don't like me? I haven't been here that long.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, they don't like you. And she started stating all these things. And I said, well, that's only probably about 4 or 5 women. I said, I don't understand where you get your facts. Well, I'm not giving you the opportunity. And it really made me sad because I knew I could do some really good work.
Yeah.
And the things she was saying, it was just, I know it was this half a dozen women that did it all, said it all. That was one incident. And then there was another incident where we had International Women's Day. Whilst I was there, because I was in events, I was asked if I could run their event in prison.
Lovely.
So we did film nights and so on. And prior to me taking it over, they would only get 1 or 2 people to the film nights. When I took it over, we had anywhere between 15 and 20 odd women. This is a jail where they only had about 50 women, 60 women in total. So that was a pretty good figure according to them. And because we organised an International Women's Day and I was the president of the committee, we asked if somebody could be the MC. Nobody put their hand up. So I said, look, I'll put my hand up if nobody else wants to do it.
Yeah.
On the day of the actual event, I got up there and I introduced everybody, thanked everybody, talked about International Women's Day. And only about a couple of women actually applauded me. Then the bully, the head bully got up there because she wanted to be up on stage and she started talking, thanked everybody but me.
Oh, no.
She acknowledged everybody. So that was very noticeable. Then we had meetings and they were supposed to be minuted, but whatever I said, they didn't minute.
Oh.
It was just horrible. I had never encountered bullying like that in my life. And it was a shock because I always thought that women helped each other, supported each other, and especially in such an environment because it was us and them, it was the officers and it was us.
Yeah.
And yet they seemed to work complete opposite. And one of those bullies was really funny. I just put it because I tend to put quite a bit on LinkedIn. I talk about my story now because I really want to try and help others. Yeah. One of those bullies actually came at me on LinkedIn and then her friend joined in and I tried to be polite and responding, but it was getting really bad. Eventually my husband said, why aren't you blocking these people? So it got to the stage where I had to block them. So they were coming at me just recently, about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Because you have to protect yourself still.
Oh,
they're still bullying you right
unfortunately, yeah. So it was a pretty awful place to be in. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And it happened during COVID. That meant I didn't have any visits from the family. It was mainly phone calls at my expense. I worked all day, which the highest pay was $8.95, but it cost you more than that just to make a couple of phone calls.
Oh, really?
So I tried to limit, because it was in the country. And then they bullied me so much by the end, within 12 months, they sent me back to the high security prison because 2 women went, and I know it was one of the officers that put them up to it. 2 of the women went around saying that I was a police informer. Oh. So once that happens, they put you in solitary confinement for your own safety. And they said it would take 3-4 days to, get to the bottom of it. But the next morning they shipped me back to the high security prison.
Oh, right.
No question. I couldn't argue. And then on the way to the high security, the officers that drove me there, he said, Connie, you've been set up. That's what he said. You've been set up. And he said, as soon as we walked in the prison, we were warned about you being a bully. And I said, okay. I said, can you tell me, was I a bully? And he goes, no. He said, we found you very polite, well-mannered. We never saw you bully anybody. But, because I was outspoken, because I was on the prison liaison committee, so I represented the prisoners to the management. Okay. So if the prisoners brought issues to me, I would take them up to management, which to me is what you're supposed to do. I've always done that.
Yeah.
but they didn't like it because I'd go up there with issues that the prisoners brought to my to me, and basically they said, well, that was dealt with. And I said, well, it couldn't have been dealt with if they're still bringing it up. Mm-hmm. And everything I brought up, no, that was dealt with last year. That was dealt, whatever. And I said, well, it can't be dealt with because they're still bringing it up today. So they didn't like me being outspoken to management.
Okay.
But I was there representing the women. I wasn't there representing me.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it. So that's why it was just a setup. And the officer just basically reinforced what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went back to high security, and I must admit it was much better than the low security. At least I could keep myself busy, because at the farm there wasn't much to do. It was really quite boring.
Oh, right.
So I tried to keep myself busy with knitting, crafting, cooking. But you have to be careful because you can put on weight quite quickly if you're not careful. Yeah. So when I went back to high security, I started working in the kitchen, still studied. But, yeah, I couldn't see my family. So it was a very lonely place, and you can't trust
because it was
anybody.
COVID, is that right?
Yeah. And as you know, in Melbourne, we got locked up for nearly 2 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So if you guys were locked, you couldn't go out within 5K radius.
Yes.
We most of the time we were locked in our units, or we were working and back in our units.
But were you in contact with other prisoners and the guards?
Yes. If we weren't locked in, yes, we were. But you had to be careful who you mixed with, who you spoke to, because if you looked at them the wrong way, it could turn nasty. So I was really careful who I was friendly with.
Yep. Did you have any friends that you can confide to?
Yeah, there was actually 3 of the women that I was friends with in there. We're still friends out here.
Oh, good.
I was still keeping contact.
Yep. So
because they did, so they did white collar crime. So we had something in common. So we're still keeping contact out here. They made a mistake just like I did.
Yeah. So you come out of jail and you really want to spread the message about second chance, isn't it?
Yes. I want to tell people that if they've got an addiction, or if they've got issues, any issues, whether it's mental illness, whether it's drugs, whether it's gambling, whether it's alcohol, whatever, reach out and ask for help. That is so important. I didn't do that. I just put on this facade that I was a happy-go-lucky, strong businesswoman.
Yep.
But deep down, I was actually breaking. It was tearing me apart. But my pride wouldn't let me admit it. But since then, I've worked out that vulnerability is not weakness. It's actually power.
Yeah. So you just snowballed into the addiction and dug your hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah. The friends that I knew that they would sense something, I alienated. I pushed them back.
Oh, right.
My husband, he was devastated. The night that I got served the papers, him and my son were devastated. It took me 11 months to tell my mum, because I did not know how to tell her, being an Italian mother.
Yeah.
And I was the goody two-shoes in my household. I never did anything wrong. And all of a sudden I did one of the worst things that an Italian family can face, is the shame of their daughter doing what she did and going to jail. So it took me 11 months. About 2 weeks before I knew I was going to go to jail, I had to sit down with my mum and tell her, and that was probably even harder than telling my husband and my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
how
did your mum take it?
Not very well. I think she was in shock, in disbelief, because she said, I don't understand. Why? You didn't even steal pens from work, because I never stole anything from work, right? And she said, you didn't even steal pens from work or bread or anything, because I worked in a bakery for a couple of years, and I never stole without asking. I asked first, then if they said yes, I would take it.
Yeah.
And for me to tell her that I stole so much money. Yeah. I think till the day she died, she still couldn't understand. She understood my issues and why it happened, but she still couldn't understand it fully.
Wow, because you stole about $6 million.
Yeah, just over
Is that
6
right?
mil. Yeah.
From a client or
Just one client. Yeah, I only had one client. I started my bookkeeping financial services back in 92. And he was one of my original clients. But then in 2008, I went into full-time event management, which I've been doing since I was 18.
Okay.
So, but he still stayed on. So he trusted me with everything he had. And I really feel bad because I've really, 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 really hurt him because we were friends. We weren't clients anymore. We were friends. He was my client for well over 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've destroyed his trust in other people. I don't think we'll ever trust anybody.
Wow. But the story is now changed and you've come out and you're a different person.
Well, I hope I am. Yes. For the first 2.5, well, I've been out 3 years today, actually.
Okay.
31st of March. And the first 2 years was really, really hard. I couldn't get work. I got rejected. I got no answers because I was very upfront with my crime.
Okay.
I did say I have a criminal record. I'm happy to discuss it. So I either never heard from them or straight out no. I did get a position because I was so desperate. I just went for anything then.
Okay.
So I applied to the AEC to give out pamphlets at the state elections.
Yep.
I got the job.
Okay.
And you had to tick that you had a criminal record. 3 days after I got my training manuals, I got a phone call from the supervisor asking me what my criminal record was about. Told her. And she said, Connie, she said, I'm so sorry. And she was very apologetic. I could tell from her voice. She said, but I got to retract the job. And I just broke down. I said, what do you think I'm going to steal pamphlets? Because that's all I'm doing, handing out pamphlets. I said, we got crooks in Parliament in government, right?
Absolutely.
And you're not letting me hand out pamphlets? Are you kidding? She said, Connie, she said, it's part of our policy. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then in October, and I was locked in my room 24/7, apart from going to my mum's and taking care of her, etc. Eventually, my mum got diagnosed with ovarian cancer in October 23.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I thought to myself, she was my biggest supporter, although she still couldn't understand it. I thought, what am I going to do with my life? Am I going to be stuck in my 4 walls forever and a day, not even going out to see my mum? So I decided right there and then that I had to do something with my life. So I decided to go back to uni. So at the age of 66, I went back to university.
All right. What did you study?
I actually went for a diploma of event management just for that piece of paper. So it gives me authority and credibility. And thinking, and I also wanted to have a look at how they ran their course because I knew I wanted to do online event management courses to teach others. Because my events were successful. My events were amazing. And I won awards both here and in China. And so I did my diploma last year. So I was the grandmother in a room of 20-odd 18, 20-year-old kids. So that was quite interesting. But then sometime last year, about May, I don't know what happened, but I met this Kaylee Chu.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I did her
speaker.
Yeah, and I did a 5-day free challenge for public speaking.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And then I went on to her next program. So I've been learning how to be a public speaker. But in the meantime, at the same time, because I was going to counselling, and I'm still doing that, not as often, but I still go to counselling. I became a Gamblers Help Respin program speaker. So I go out wherever they send me to talk to people about addictions, not only to the people addicted, but also to their family and friends and what to look out for, etc., and what devastation it has not only on the person himself or herself, but on the family and the community, and it destroys lives. I call it the silent killer, because if you take drugs, you can see it. If you drink, you can see it. But if you gamble, you can't see it.
Yes, it's so easy to hide.
It is very easy to hide. And through my Gamblers Help and Respin program, I've met quite a few people that have lost loved ones to suicide because of gambling problems.
Yes, I guess
so. They're going around talking to people about what to look out for because they miss the sign. So, yeah.
Wow.
Because it devastates a lot of lives.
Yeah, well, good on you for going around and speaking about this.
Yeah, so that's what I did. So now in April, I'm getting, I graduate for my diploma. So I get my hat and my diploma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then around beginning of last year, I got sponsored to write my book, From the Shadows into the Light, which is
From the Shadows into the
Light, which is
Great.
out. Yeah, it was meant to be out last year, but I broke my wrist in March, so I couldn't do it. So it's out at the end of April. And there's also a TV documentary. So there's a little bit of a thing there that I talk.
Yeah.
And my unforgettable one, which became a bestseller in Canada and the US, that's there's 12 other women that write a chapter in that book, including one from me.
Great. All right. I'll put the links into the show notes so our listeners can check out your books, which is coming up in one of the chapters from My Unforgettable.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So you're on a mission to spread this message.
I'm on a mission to spread this message, to get rid of the shame, to get rid of the stigma. Look, we all make mistakes. Some are bigger than others.
Yeah.
Mine was a huge one. I don't deny that. But I don't want someone young go through that, because at my age, 67, my life is almost over. It will never be over, but it's almost over. But someone who does this in their 20s and 30s, their life is ruined forever unless they get given a chance to get back into society.
Yeah.
And look, if I didn't have the support of my husband, my son, and my mum, I would have been homeless.
Yes.
And if I had been homeless, what do you think would have happened?
I
would have gone back in. I would have gone back in if I didn't commit suicide, right? And that's what's happening. They're sending people out of jail with nothing out here. Some don't have places to go to. Some don't have support. So they go in and out, in and out, in and out. We've got to stop that. It's good for the community if we can stop it. It's good for the government, because that money that they spend on prisoners in prisons, it can be spent on better things like education and health. You wouldn't have the mental illness we got.
Yeah.
But employers have a role to play as well.
Yeah, we need to be supportive of more.
100%. And I'll talk about the third book that I've just written. It's just been edited and formatted and stuff. It's about chainless and fearless, the 4 E's to transformation. And the 4 E's are education, employment, empowerment, and environment. If you can give those 4 to a person that's been locked up or has had an addiction, you've got a loyal employee. Because you've given them an opportunity, and they will take that, and they will be forever grateful.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful company in America that's doing this, The Last Mile. They're going to prisons and actually teach them to code. Okay. And when these people come out, 85% of them got jobs.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah. So something like that needs to be started here, because not everybody wants to do gardening. You've got to give them an opportunity to do what they love. Because if they love something, they will embrace it.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love the message that you're spreading. I think it's not just about gamblers. It's about everything in life. If you made a mistake, if you've gone into something that you dug a hole. Maybe in our world, in our listeners, it's about addiction to sugars or food. If you've gone into eating too much, or sugar addiction, or even drug and alcohol addiction,
Yeah.
if you have a second chance, you can get out of it, and people
Yeah.
can embrace your journey and get out onto the other side.
100%. 100%. We should not judge people. And look, probably before I did all this, maybe I was judgmental as well. Because I'd never done anything wrong. I couldn't understand it. I mean, I lost friends to drug overdoses and suicides. And I could never understand that until it happened to me. And a few times I thought about taking my own life because it was just really killing me inside. But the only thing that stopped me is I didn't want to leave my son without a mother. And I remember his words the night that I got served those papers. He opened the door and they asked for me, so he called me out. I knew what it was because I knew the day that I got caught, I knew because the money didn't go into my bank, so I knew that I got caught.
Oh, no.
So it was the Monday night, it was 8 o'clock. There was a big knock on the door. He answered the door. They asked for me, so he called me. I went to the door. They asked me if I was Connie Paglianiti. I said yes. And all I got was, you've been served. They gave me the papers. I took them, slammed the door shut and ran into my room. My husband and my son followed me. And
how old was your son then?
15.
Oh, no.
And they said, what have you been served with? And I said, no, nothing. I still tried to hide it. I don't know how I thought I was going to hide it, but I still tried to hide it. They actually got it out of me eventually when I just broke down and told them the truth. Well, you should have seen their stunned looks. And my son's words were, Mum, don't do anything stupid. I need my mother. That were his words.
Wow.
And he just broke me. And he's still, to this day, whenever I think of it, yeah.
Wow. He's the biggest support.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I've got a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even in jail when I was getting bullied, at times I thought, oh my God, is life worth living? But he kept me alive. Yeah. So
I just had a thought that it's never too late to start again. So it applies to everybody.
No, and it's never too late to learn things either. I always say the day you know everything is the day you're 6 foot and under, because you stop learning then. Yeah. So I'm always learning every day.
That's right. That's great.
So I'm doing so much self-development to become a better speaker, to become a better coach, to be a better human.
Amazing. I love your journey.
Yeah.
Great. So your book will be coming up in April, is that what's
Yeah, the ebook is coming out. Well, they said the 15th of April. I won't hold my breath on it because I haven't seen it. So I reckon the end of April, and then 2 weeks later will be the paperback.
Okay.
And then I'll probably do a small book launch to announce it. But yeah, but I want to also hopefully make it into a series.
Yep.
Yeah, 10-part series, because I think it needs to be told. There's so many con people out there, because it wasn't just that person that conned me. It was 4 others after that.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like that for 5 years, I had this branded on my forehead, L for loser, S for sucker, because I happened to just attract those people. Even my husband and I were talking a few months back. He said, I don't know what happened in that period. He said, but you seem to attract these leeches.
Wow.
And he was right.
This is just bad luck and over again.
I don't know if it was bad luck. I just think I was so desperate that I attracted the wrong people. I must have had this desperate look on my face that, yeah. And I believed people. Because I wouldn't lie to you. I don't expect you to lie to me.
Exactly.
Right? But the world is not like that.
No.
I mean, all you have to do is have a look at these scams that go, through phones, the internet, etc. Unfortunately, I got scammed face to face.
Yeah.
So
it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I always say to people that I talk to about doing event management, don't trust anybody. Trust yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what
Wow.
happens. But yeah, so that's where I'm going forward. So hopefully if there's anybody out there that's got issues, reach out. There are so many organizations that will help you. Gamblers Help is amazing for gambling. Then you've got Beyond Blue. Then you've got Alcoholic Anonymous. Then you've got, the rehab places for drugs.
Yes. Even as a GP, a lot of patients just come in to see me as the first point of call, just to seek out what to do next, even if we're just listening. I think that's amazing, helpful with the patients.
And guide them through.
Yeah.
Yeah. My doctor did that. She did a health plan, so she sent me to a psychologist. Unfortunately, that do cost a lot of money, even though, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't believe is don't give people antidepressants.
Yes.
Yeah. I took them for about a couple of months, and it was just like a zombie walking. So I gave emotions.
Well, you had some stress going on. It's because of the stress that made you depressed. So you had to sort out the stress rather than tablets doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And it's funny because last night we went to an area which I'm not familiar with to pick up my son, and it's in the southeastern suburbs. So I booked a restaurant out there so we could have dinner with my godchild.
Okay.
But I didn't realize he had pokies.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So my husband and my son were a bit worried about me. And I said, look, I should be all right. And honest to God, I was fine. I didn't even think about it, didn't even blink at it. I've been clean 7 years now. And because whatever took me there is no longer there. It was the one secret that was eating me alive.
Yeah.
It's now it's out in the open. I've got no other secrets.
Because you started again. You're a new woman.
Yeah.
You got
and I think I needed that. I really think I needed that kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Hard lesson, but it's probably what saved me as well.
Amazing. I think, the learning for everyone is you can always start again and keep learning, be curious about your journey, be curious about the future, and
if you see somebody struggling, be there for them. Don't judge them. Be there for them.
Yeah. Whatever happened in the past doesn't really dictate you. You can always create a new future.
Your crime should not define you. Your past should not define you.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
What makes you in the future that counts.
Amazing.
But then if you keep making the same mistakes, well, then it's different.
Yeah, well, then you shouldn't be doing that.
No. No. And that's one thing I do well is I only make the mistake once. I never make it a second time. I might make a new one, but not the same one.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you, Connie, for sharing your journey. And your story. Thank you so much for being open to the listeners.
That's okay. I think you need to be open if you're going to talk about it. You can't hide.
Yeah. Where can our listeners find you?
Well, I've got 2 websites. One under my name, conniepaglianiti.com.
Okay, yeah.
And on there's also a form where you can send me messages.
Okay.
And I'll get them through the email. And the other one, the event one, is We Socialise with an s.com.au.
Yep.
So I'll keep the 2 separate.
Sure. I will put all the links in the show notes. And social media and LinkedIn?
Yes, LinkedIn is under my name, Connie Paglianiti.
Yeah.
Facebook, it's under my name as well.
Okay.
And Instagram, I think, is under my name as well.
Yes, no problem.
I don't use Instagram. It's mainly Facebook and LinkedIn that I do use.
Sure. Okay. No problem. I'll put all the links if people want to reach out or follow your journey and wait for your book to come out. Not long now.
No. It's exciting and scary at the same time. Yeah. So I just hope, because I put my heart and soul into that one. It was supposed to be 8 to 10 chapters, but there was no way that I could do it in 8 to 10 chapters. I actually went up to 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a big book. I think it's bigger than what they expected. But they haven't said they're not printing it, so that's pretty good. And they edited, and because it's an American company that's publishing it and sponsored it, the only thing they actually found was that they used Z's instead of S's.
Yeah.
So we're going back and forth with those. So the editing was pretty good.
Okay.
So they didn't need too much,
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was going to put some pictures, but then I thought, no, it's already 20 chapters, no more pictures.
I can't wait for it to come out.
Oh, good. I'd love to hear your review, what you think of it.
Okay. Does it come in an audio book?
Actually, I was talking to someone today about that. No, they're only doing print and but I'm going to see what I can find out what the costs are for an audio book, because suggested to me that that's a good way of doing it, because people listen in their car or people that can't read. I just got to have a look at the cost, because I haven't got any money, because I'm flat broke. We've got a huge mortgage, because I left my family in a mess financially. So if it's going to be at my own cost, I just got to be really careful where I spend the money.
Yeah. Maybe you can narrate it and go to Audible. I don't know how much it costs.
Oh, look, I've got a few active friends that could do it for me. So, yeah, but I'm not sure what's required. So I have to look into that and what the costs are involved. If it's in the thousands, I can't. But if it's maybe a couple of $100 or whatever, perhaps I will do it. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Because I like to go walking and running, and I listen to books rather than read. I just can't sit down and read a book.
See, I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I don't like listening. I like reading it, and I hate ebooks. I like physical books.
Yeah, I can't do ebooks.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried ebooks, and look, they're okay, but I prefer a book right in front of me, so I can leave it and come back to it anytime, and it's still there physical. Yeah, no, I love books. It's like we download videos, films, etc. now, but I still got a huge collection of DVDs, and somebody came in, because I'm storing them. They said, why don't you get rid of them? I said, I can't do that. I said, I really love the physical touch. And I said, some of them are originals, so you will need to go through.
Very special.
Yes. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you again, Connie, for coming on to the Prescribing Lifestyle podcast.
Thank you very much, Dr. Avi, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. And thank you, all the listeners, for staying tuned. And I say, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. So thank you for staying tuned. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast. Before we wrap up, I have an exciting news to share. I have a new ebook called Low Carb Made Easy. It's now available. This guide is perfect for anyone looking to dive into the low carb lifestyle. Inside, you'll find the basic theory behind low carb eating, a detailed food list, practical meal plan, and a variety of delicious recipes. It's designed to make a journey to better health easier, simpler, and enjoyable. For those who prefer a hard copy, head over to my website and register your interest using the link provided. My website is www.mlcclinic.com.au. Head to online store. Remember, the information shared in this podcast, it's for educational purposes only and not proper medical advice. Always consult your medical professional before making any changes to your lifestyle and diet, or you can come and see me in Melbourne Low Carb Clinic. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with us on social media. Your feedback will help us improve and reach more listeners. Lastly, if you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. Together, we can make a positive impact to our health and our communities. Thanks again for listening, and as always, stay healthy and happy. Until next time.